Leading a new breed of large-deck, nuclear-powered aircraft carriers is the USS Gerald R. Ford. The Ford has drawn criticism for taking too long, costing too much, and falling short of its lofty expectations, just like every other significant endeavor to enhance U.S. Navy warfighting capability. If these criticisms are true in any way, it is because the Ford design integrated 20 new technologies into a ship that at first glance resembles the Nimitz class of carriers it will eventually replace. However, appearances can be deceiving. It is challenging to keep track of all the ways in which the Ford class will outperform the carriers making up today's operational fleet because it differs so significantly from what came before. In this video, we will see Ford-class carriers' advantages over the Nimitz-class carriers. Hello viewers, you are watching Defense Space. In case you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel. We simplify defense technologies for you. The Nimitz-class carriers' nuclear reactors can't provide enough electricity to run all of the warfighting technologies that will likely be required in the future. A modern warship's entire power requirements may be met by the Ford class's two smaller but more potent reactors, which also offer a sizable growth margin for future upgrades. The greater generating capacity may be required in the future to enable new ship defenses using directed energy weapons in addition to powering equipment, like the electromagnetic catapult and multifunction radar on the Ford. Unmanned aircrafts will form an integral part of naval warfare. In what the Navy refers to as distributed maritime operations, unmanned devices are projected to be commonplace, but current launch and arresting methods put unmanned aircraft, or drones, under too much strain. Ford-class carriers will be able to launch and recover a wider variety of aircraft, both lighter and heavier than those currently hosted on a Nimitz carrier, thanks to their improved catapult and arresting gear. How many sorties, flights, a carrier can produce per day is the most crucial indicator of carrier lethality. With the Ford design, planes are launched using electromagnetic systems rather than steam-powered catapults, and returning aircraft are stopped using new arresting gear. Additionally, it changes how weapons are handled and expands deck space. All of these modifications improve the carrier's capacity for fluid aircraft launches. The Navy wants to generate 33% more sorties, or 160 sorties per day in normal circumstances, and 270 during surge operations. To reach those objectives will take time and effort, but with many smart bombs carried by each attack jet, it doesn't take much imagination to understand how effective 200-plus sorties per day could be against the majority of adversaries. The Navy is becoming increasingly adept at tracking down elusive targets. Thus, the more sorties produced, the more deadly sea-based aviation is going to become. The routes for transporting munitions within Nimitz-class ships were designed many years ago, and they are not ideal for modern intelligent weapons. They severely limit the rate at which sorties can be produced. The Ford design reorganizes these channels to make it easier to move weapons to strike fighters, adding automation and other elements to cut down on the amount of staff needed and quicken flight deck operations. Threat detection on carrier radars is crucial, but the Nimitz class needs half a dozen distinct radars to carry out all necessary tasks, including target identification, tracking, and detection. The Ford design swaps out this assortment of sensors with a single multipurpose radar that uses up a lot less room. Compared to earlier air defense radars, the system is far more sensitive and requires little maintenance. It has no moving parts. The island, a structure above the flight deck, can be smaller because it takes up less room, which lowers the carrier's own radar signal. The ship's crew and the carrier air wing support staff total thousands of people. The Nimitz was created in an era when it was very inexpensive to hire people, and there were few choices for automating tasks. The Ford class was created to reduce the crew size by 20% by performing various tasks with technology instead of people. Costs associated with carriers are also influenced by maintenance, both at sea and in shipyards. But a number of Ford design elements help with less frequent maintenance. For instance, despite producing significantly more power than those aboard a Nimitz, the carrier reactors are simpler and require less maintenance. The multifunction radar requires less upkeep. Compared to its steam-powered counterpart, the electromagnetic catapult for launching planes will be simpler to support. The majority of the life cycle costs related to owning the only fleet of nuclear-powered large-deck carriers in the world are incurred through operating and support costs after the ships are constructed. The Navy estimates that a Ford-class carrier will cost $4 billion less to operate throughout its 50-year lifespan than a Nimitz-class carrier due to cost savings on crewing, maintenance, and many other tasks. Thanks for watching. If you came this far, that means you like our content. If you like our way of presenting things, thereby simplifying defense technologies for you, do subscribe to this channel. And press the bell icon and select all option to get notified when we upload a video. Do like and share this video with friends and family. It will help us create more content like this in the future. This is Defense Space signing off.